I didn't quite come up with quite as clever of a title for this one. I tried. I just called it Carnifex Records. Was my best.
Carnifex Records.
It's not as good as Puddle of Tom.
Puddle of Tom. Wait, what was the one before that?
It was... So the first one was Mutilated Crack.
Yeah, Mutilated Crack.
Second one was Sun Cook Moon.
Yeah.
And then the third one was Swans of Death Metal.
Yeah, Swans of Death Metal.
Puddle of Tom.
Puddle of Tom.
Carnifex Records.
Nice.
Hello, and welcome to Shuffle Episode 5. I'm your host, Jared Waniger, and I would like to just remind you to please listen to the playlists of the tracks we will be discussing in this episode. Links to Spotify and YouTube playlists are contained in the description for this episode. We are yet again joined by special guest, D. Manthey.
That's right.
Dominic.
Mr. D, I prefer.
Mr. D.
From now on, Mr. D.
Is it Mr. or Mista?
Mr. D.
Mr. D?
Mr. Duh. Manthey.
Mr. Duh.
Mr.
Mr. Duh.
If you don't mind. Mistada Manthey.
Mistada Manthey.
If you don't mind.
Okay. Mistada Manthey.
Hello.
Greetings. It has been 5 episodes without an ICP incident. I sadly did not find any news for our Insane Clown Posse News Corner segment, which I know is a listener favorite.
You didn't find your ICP guy who gives you the word on the street?
I don't got that guy yet.
I guess when you're kicked out of the ICP culture like you were, you're really out.
Yeah, because, I was so deep in.
You were deep. You were in deep.
Hatchet man tattoos that I had to have laser removed off my body. Permanent Juggalo clown makeup face on my face.
When you sweat, I still smell the Fago.
It still seeps out of my pores
really
after the years of just dousing myself in it. Have you been listening to anything this week you've been grooving on?
Well, I mean, Creed, Wings. I'm always a wing
now
nut.
Puddle of Mud.
Puddle of Mud, all right.
Not as heavy in the rotation.
I'm just really getting into the Wings. The deep Wings discography. You'd be surprised how deep it can get.
Do you have like a playlist of deep cuts and rarities and B-sides?
Oh yeah. But don't quiz me on it because it's just I don't like to talk about the details.
Well,
I promise I'm listening to it.
I know that you don't know any of the specific titles of any of the songs because when you listen to Wings, you listen to the entire discography in one sitting. It's never like a this song or that. It's the whole discography.
A lot of people make a mistake by getting caught in the details, but with Wings, more than any other band, it's all about the experience.
It's really like just one song for you.
Exactly.
It's just the Paul McCartney Wings experience.
Exactly. I just fly away on those wings.
So, besides listening to his discography on repeat, did anything else slip its way in there?
There's something else. So, Panda Bear. I'm a big fan of Panda Bear, who is a musician who's also an animal collector. Kind of experimental, although it's a contentious title, let's be honest.
He probably doesn't like being labeled that.
He's an electronic artist. Yeah. Electronic pop, increasingly. I think. Maybe experimental pop, but probably not. But he has an album that came out earlier this year called Panda Bear vs. the Grim Reaper, which is very good. And he recently came out like a month ago with an EP called Crosswords.
Okay.
And it's got like 5 songs on it, 1 remix from his earlier album. And it's really good. I gotta say, it's very good. It's kind of like a more domestic Panda Bear.
Like he's growing up, maybe?
Yeah, growing up, kind of just the music. I know this sounds like an insult. I don't mean it to be, but the music is more like background music, but not in a bad way. The music is more relaxing, whereas some of his earlier stuff in Animal Collective's earlier stuff, it was like manic chaos.
Well, I know like some of the songs off of like Strawberry Jam like forced you to pay attention to it.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, Panda Bear has always been a bit more chill, but this, especially this EP, I find it's domestic. I don't know. He's getting older. He's a father, husband. I don't know.
So would you call it like dad experimental?
Oh, I mean, I hate to say it. I mean, honestly, I listened to it and I was like, this is electronic pop music. which maybe you could say is like dad experimental
It is.
electronic. It's more just
At least
conventional.
in
like,
the Animal Collective world,
Yeah.
dropping the experimental off might be a form of maturity.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's good. I mean, it's good. I recommend it if you're a Panda Bear fan. But if you're looking for the hardcore, crazy AV tear screaming, you're gonna have to listen to that in your other earbud, simultaneous as the
Ooh,
crosswords.
You're like making your own Animal Collective mixes.
That's
almost.
right. That's right. But you always have wings playing in the background.
Well,
Otherwise, you're just gonna totally lose all ground.
just a bass,
Yeah.
constant noise in the background.
Constant wings.
If you're looking for something a little more experimental, what I've been listening to this week falls into that realm. Have you heard of One Tricks Point Never?
No.
He is an electronic artist. His music's been described as experimental, ambient, vaporwave. I don't know if you've heard of vaporwave. So vaporwave, it's a musical genre that was pioneered by this guy, and it uses 80s and 90s pop cultural samples and references, highly chopped and glitched up. He put out this mixtape called Echo Jams, and heavily samples the Sega Genesis game Echo the Dolphin, as well as like 90s R&B. It's similar to Witch House and Chillwave, which are also kind of two made-up genres. I'm just waiting for a Witch House song to pop up on the playlist so I can tell you all about what
because
Witch
I am
House
not
is.
familiar with that genre.
But say, okay, so One Tricks Point Never, I'm not trying to step on any toes or say anything really controversial, but he's kind of like a modern Aphex Twin. Not that Aphex Twin isn't doing stuff still, but he was huge in revolutionizing the electronic music world back in the 90s.
Yeah.
He kind of disappeared for a while. Now he's putting out a bunch of stuff. It's very similar to what he's done. This guy, I feel, is moving it in a new direction. He has this song out right now. He has an album coming out November 13th called Garden of Delete. And he recently just dropped a single called Mutant Standard. And it's crazy. It's awesome.
I'll have to check it out.
I feel like it's really good music for people who have a hard time paying attention to electronic music. Like, I feel like it's a rebellion against like house music, because
that gets really kind of repetitive and conventional.
So like,
almost. Yeah.
Like almost every 30 seconds, the song completely changes its thought process. It's very schizophrenic, is the best way I can put it.
Yeah. And
it's almost frustrating at times, because right as you're starting to be like, oh, I really like this, boom, it changes on you.
Yeah.
It keeps you on your toes. I saw him live accidentally in that he opened up for Sigur Rós.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And I don't think Sigur Rós picked this guy out. I feel like their label might have, because
it's an odd pairing.
So
pairing.
His music is borderline inaccessible at times. So
Yeah.
he opened up and like basically unannounced, he just walked up to like a table with a laptop and started playing music, and then just walked away after about a half hour. It was really antisocial. And about halfway through Sigur Rós' set, Jonsi, the lead singer, is like, "Put your hands together for our opener." Like, he didn't even know his name.
That guy.
So
wow,
I'm really digging it. I'm really excited for this new album to come out, Garden of Delete.
Wait, and what the name of the artist?
One Tricks Point Never.
One Tricks Point Never.
It's ONEOHTRIX, and then the word point, POINT, and then never, NE.
Yeah.
3 separate words.
Nice. I'll have to check that out.
Definitely.
Do you recommend it simultaneously with Sigur Rós? The kind of dual earbud scenario?
No, I don't. Sigur Rós music, it like burns like a well-built fire.
Yeah.
Where this guy is like
firecrackers.
Firecrackers are like throwing gasoline on fire and then seeing what happens.
Nice.
But I do recommend it if you're in the mood for it. Like I said, it is kind of inaccessible sometimes. I feel like this new album is getting more in the dad can't
getting domestic a little bit.
It's not as offensive.
Yeah,
I guess is the best way I can put it. It still spastically changes, but it's a lot more accessible. The little segments that are all chopped out. All right, well, you can move on to our first song. Watching the Boats with My Dad by Buckethead.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh.
No,
but of all the titles, of all the songs, and you probably shouldn't even laugh at it, but watching it makes me laugh. I feel like a terrible human being.
Just the song title, Watching the Boats with My Dad.
Watching the Boats with My Dad. It's just, oh man, it's very Charlie Brown kind of. Shucks title.
Very,
Watching the Boats
very
with My
PG.
Dad. Yeah, very PG.
So this is off of Buckethead's 1998 album, Colma. Buckethead is a guitarist and multi-instrumentalist. You might want to sit back and relax. I have quite a tale to tell about Buckethead.
He's got quite the mythos, if not. Oh, yeah.
Yes. Are you familiar with Buckethead at all?
Again, probably just like as much as any modestly culturally informed person is. I know he's the guy with the kind of Halloween mask and the KFC head, and he's recorded ungodly amount of songs, and that's about it.
You know a lot more than most people.
Okay, yeah, so maybe that's
that makes you a borderline fan, I would say, because this guy's like a guitar virtuoso that only music nerds really get into.
Yeah, so I guess I am a little... I guess I'm a Buckethead. Actually, I'm a head nut.
You're a Bucketheadman?
I noticed online a lot of people just call him Head. They do. All the hardcore fans say, thanks for this song, Head.
Which is funny because Korn's lead guitarist's name is Head, too.
See, well, that's something else. There's a whole conspiracy about who he really is.
His name's Brian.
Allegedly.
Okay.
Allegedly.
I don't know anything about this conspiracy, so maybe you can drop some knowledge on me after
I will.
I tell this tale.
You give the history, and then I'll tell you how it's in fact the exact opposite. Not
deal. You better build up a good story. Yeah. All right. So Buckethead, like I said, he's an incredibly proficient guitarist. He dabbles in heavy metal, progressive metal, funk metal, avant-garde metal, instrumental rock, experimental rock, ambient, blues, jazz, bluegrass, etc., etc. He does everything. He, like Dominic referenced, he has recorded an ungodly amount of albums. So, the total number of studio albums, special releases, EPs, demo tapes, and works with other bands and projects that he has currently is around 316 albums.
Wow.
He has guest appeared on 97 albums. He has 19 videos in his videography. And in total, Buckethead has been involved with 413 different album projects, solo or with other bands. And as of his 231st solo studio album, 6 Days Till Halloween, Underlayer, his total solo studio album running time is approximately 126.1 hours. Yeah. He's worked with the likes of Bootsy Collins, Iggy Pop, Les Claypool, Serge Tankian, Mike Patton, the actor Viggo Mortensen.
What'd they do?
They've actually released 8 albums together.
Of course, I should have known.
Buckethead playing kind of smooth, jazzy guitar music, and Viggo reciting poetry.
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Man, it's like peeling back an onion. It
just finding some funky layers in there. Buckethead was a member of Guns N' Roses from 2000 to 2004 during the infamous Chinese Democracy era.
Which is, to interject, roughly around the time some fans started thinking maybe he actually was Slash.
Huh.
Because no one knows for sure. Allegedly.
If you seen him in the same place at the same time?
Exactly. If you get down to the deep subreddit, some people think Slash is Buckethead.
So you were surfing the Buckethead subreddit?
Yeah, that's right. It's a very, very scary, deprived place.
Well, the only thing scarier than that is his website, if you've ever visited it.
Oh, wait, I think I maybe did see it.
It looks pretty old. And it
Yes.
just has, like, these horrifying, crazy pictures all over it.
Yeah.
So, he is, as well as his solo work, he's a member of the band The Deli Creeps, which is my favorite project of his. Praxis, Zillotron, Death Cube K, Cobra Strike, Thanantopus, and Les Claypool's supergroup project, Colonel Claypool's Bucket of Bernie Brains. So, allegedly, according to the non-conspiracy theory, Buckethead is a man named Brian Patrick Carroll. He grew up in Southern California near Disneyland. As a kid, he was obsessed with comic books, games, martial arts, movies, toys, and theme parks, all which help create this Buckethead mythos. Let me see here. I took a lot of notes.
There's a lot of Buckethead.
He pretty much went to Disneyland every day of his life when he was a kid, and it grew into this obsession with theme parks. And he has this whole story of this place called Buckethead Land, which is an abusement park because you get killed there, but it's his own theme park. He has multiple concept albums about this theme park.
Okay, I see.
In 1988, after seeing the film Halloween 4, he was inspired by the Michael Myers white mask. He instantly went out and bought a similar mask, and later on he was eating a bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken. And I quote, "I was eating it, and I put the mask on and then the bucket on my head. I went to the mirror. I just said, Buckethead. That's Buckethead right there. It was just one of those things. After that, I wanted to be that thing all the time."
He's a genius. I mean, he is a genius.
Yeah. So Buckethead, like we said, he wears a white Michael Myers mask. He's got long curly brown hair, kind of imagine Weird Al's hair.
Yeah.
He often is wearing a blue jumpsuit or a yellow raincoat. And he has a giant bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken on his head. And in big block letters, the word funeral is written upon it. When he's in costume, he never speaks. Whenever he has done interviews, he only communicates through a severed rubber head mask that he wears on his hand, whose name is Herbie, and Herbie does all the talking for him. And Herbie is part of his backstory. So, here's the story.
I feel like I should be taking notes. This is amazing.
I'll send you my Evernote after I get done with this. And if you're curious at all to learn more, go on his website, because this is only a brief summary of his backstory. Buckethead grew up on a farm, and all the farmers there hated him. They beat him, shocked him with cattle prods, made fun of him. And it made him so sad that one day he decided to move into the chicken coop. And he loved it in the chicken coop and his new chicken family. And his chicken family loved him so much that they scratched his face off. So he was forced to wear a mask all the time like it was Halloween, which made him happy. One day, one of the mean farmers threw a bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken into the chicken coop. Buckethead, realizing that the fried chicken was a dead, fallen member of his chicken family, desperately tried to put all the chicken pieces back together. And when he failed, he snapped, put the bucket on his head, and went and murdered all of the farmers. One of them being this Herbie character, he cut the guy's head off and uses it to talk through. And since then, he's used the sadness from his slaughtered chicken family and actually the souls of the dead chickens to channel through him and make him be a better guitar player. He then went on to open his abusement park, Buckethead Land, but then when he didn't have enough money to keep it open, he got a job in the slaughterhouse to help bring in more funds.
Wow. I feel like I understand his music a lot better.
Yeah. Oftentimes during his live performances, he also will do robot dances, which people have speculated that he is a machine and not a human at all. And he's actually freakishly proficient with nunchucks.
I've heard.
And will just I've seen video of it. He looks like Bruce Lee. Like, he's incredibly talented with nunchucks. So, you want to drop some conspiracy theories on me? Or slash about the extent of it?
It was about all... There appear to be two conspiracies. One is that he actually is Slash. It's just an alter ego, which... I mean, no one even really knows what Slash looks like, as far as I know.
Just the hat and sunglasses.
But apparently Paul Gilbert is a very famous guitarist, and besides in his own right being allegedly, one of the top 50 most proficient virtuoso of guitarists, also is a guitar instructor.
I have heard that Buckethead Styles is supposed to be very similar to this guy.
Well, and this is where the conspiracy leads, is that allegedly he was his teacher. Okay? Paul Gilbert taught Buckethead. But there's been various... The timeline doesn't quite map out if you go into the deep subreddits, where there's Paul Gilbert's style in different phases of his life that mysteriously kind of align with Buckethead's style. And, most oddly, is they... Apparently, at one point, Buckethead was a relatively slender guy, and then he got a little bit bigger. And Paul Gilbert himself, I think... This could all be complete bullshit, but most things on subreddit aren't. He got a little bit bigger, and some people think maybe they're the same person, but...
So Slash, Buckethead, and Paul Gilbert are all the same person.
Exactly.
And they were all raised in a chicken coop.
And they're all really Paul McCartney. That's the real kicker.
Well, when it comes down to it, we're all really Paul McCartney.
We're all
deep
Paul
down.
McCartney. Deep down. But Buckethead. Wait, so you're a big fan? Let me ask you, again, I'm just gonna make you pretend you're a huge fan. Is Buckethead most known for playing really fast and amazing technical just virtuosity, or is he more of kind of the eclectic, slower, thoughtful guitar player who's still technically proficient, but he's not like the crazy speedster?
Crazy speedster.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Inhumanly fast.
That was my impression of him. Which makes this song a little bit strange.
This is a very weird song to be introduced to Buckethead with. Extremely strange.
Yes.
Though this is one of his most popular albums.
Okay.
In that it's the most accessible.
Uh-huh.
There's a song off this album called Whitewash that's, other than Jordan, I think might be his most popular song. And it's one of these more calm songs.
Okay.
But yeah, he is an incredibly fast... I don't know enough about playing the guitar, but supposedly he can do these crazy things where he's finger picking and tapping with 5 fingers at the same time.
The Van Halen kind of tap.
And he makes heavy use of the kill switch too. So he'll do these crazy finger tappings and then use the kill switch to distort the guitar playing further, kind of Tom Morello-esque.
Yeah.
So this album is kind of an anomaly in his discography. He's got a couple albums like this now, but this was the first one where it's this collection of calmer acoustic music. The album Colma, it's named after a city in California called Colma, California, which is infamous for the amount of dead citizens in the city outnumber the amount of living citizens in the city 1,000 to 1.
Is that right? My God.
The city started out as a necropolis. So before it was ever a town, it was just endless fields of graveyards. And then it eventually got turned into a town. So
let's build a town on it.
As of right now, it has a population of 1,792. And for each one of those, you can speculate if it's 1,000 to 1 for every person there's 1,000 dead people.
Jesus.
The town's motto is, "It's great to be alive in Colma."
At least they take it in on stride.
So his mother is from Colma, or at least she lives there, and he made this album for her because she was recovering from colon cancer and wanted to make a nice, easy listening to album for her to enjoy while she was recovering in the hospital.
I knew I would regret laughing at this, but
yeah, you're pretty.
Nevertheless,
kind of a prick. Now we're gonna have to give trigger warnings.
Yeah, no kidding. God, should have done my research more.
You're too busy in the deep web looking up
exactly.
conspiracy theories.
Wait, so how did you feel about the song?
I thought it was kind of boring.
Okay,
I'm gonna be honest. I think it was very nice to listen to. It was very calm and tranquil. Like, it made me think of calm waters. A music reviewer was talking about the album and said about the song, watching the boats with my dad is so wistful and flows so gently, you have to believe it was inspired by a real moment. So, I don't know, it kind of has this blurry, nostalgic sound to it. It ends really abruptly, which I think is kind of
odd. Yeah, that's odd.
Like, it's almost like the whole song could loop in, like, forever, and he just decided I'll cut it off right there.
Yeah.
Well, what did you think?
I mean, it's a silly song. I couldn't help but think this was a very silly... I feel like if it had been by someone not called Buckethead, who wears a KFC bucket on his head, hence the name Buckethead, if it was by someone named like Pierre, some bullshit French name, and it was called, watching...
Acoustic Jones.
Yeah, Acoustic Jones watching the boats, maybe I would have been, more likely to buy into this song, but it just seemed so sentimental and cliche. It literally sounded like it would be in Twin Peaks, and I would hear Agent Cooper saying, "Where are you, Laura?"
Yeah.
Well, this is playing, and it's just like,
See, do you want to know what this made me think of?
What?
I don't know how obscure this is. So, I don't know if they even have this anymore, but I remember as a child going to Target and Walmart superstores, and there would always be this end cap display of this board with buttons on it, and you'd push a button and music would play, and they were like selling these like summer rain albums, and it was like,
yes,
you know what I'm talking about?
I know, yes, exactly.
It was right by the scented candles. This sounds...
They just targeted for like white middle class moms.
Yeah, like if you were to layer this with the sound of like a soft summer storm in the background, you could sell this at Walmart on one of those end cap displays.
Yeah, exactly. Here's an album for your mood.
Yeah. Pure moods.
Exactly.
Enigmatic thoughts or something.
Yeah, no, that's a fantastic way to describe it. Maybe somewhere in some Walmart, in fact, that is there, I hope. It was, I mean, I don't want to say it was a terrible song, but it was a silly song.
I agree. The rest of this album is actually pretty damn good.
Okay,
I wouldn't write it off because of this song.
Because I know him. I know Buckethead as a sort of virtuoso. I mean, like Joe Satriani and Steve Vai.
Yeah,
I think.
he's
one of those.
Wheelhouse.
And so, which just made this song just all the more ridiculous. It was just someone would listen to this and just be like, "Aw, shucks," just kick their feet on the ground and be like, "Oh, so sweet, Des. I love it." It's just ridiculous. It's a ridiculous song. Painful to listen.
On YouTube, all the comments where people are like, "I miss my dad."
Yes, I saw that too.
I should really call my dad.
Oh my god.
I don't know. Like, it sounds nice, but yeah, it's.
I feel like I gotta be. Again, the common denominator to the song is that you're wistful about your dad, and I will simply. It doesn't happen that often.
Well, maybe you should stop hating your dad so much.
I'm sorry, Dad. I should get wistful,
You should call him right now.
Call him, Dad.
Put him on the podcast.
Can we listen to this song together, Dad?
While we watch some boats.
It's gotta be one of the worst titles. Watching the boats with my dad. I don't know why. It just seems like the hokiest title to a song I can think of.
I almost have to question. Now, I guess it can't.
Is he being ironic?
Is
he being ironic? Because then,
my only thought is, I guess this doesn't work for this album because this was like the 4th ever album he put out. But with the volume of albums he puts out, he can't put that much thought into the title and album. Like, He's like a factory.
He's probably got someone else.
He probably like
titles.
goes to like Wikipedia and hits the random button. He's like, oh, there's a title of that song.
Yeah. No, good point.
I don't know.
Watching the boats. It should have just been watching boats with Dad. It'd been just little
drop
more.
The mine.
Yeah.
Kind of like in The Social Network when Justin Timberlake's like, drop the.
Yeah, drop it.
Facebook.
Exactly. Come on, Buckethead. And Buckethead, what's the deal? Well, what I want to know is why did it take Halloween 4 for him to be like, I'm inspired by The Mask? Did he not see Halloween 1 or 2 or 3? The mask didn't change. What's the deal? And KFC. I don't get it. It's because he's Paul Gilbert. Slash.
You see what I'm saying? Slash.
That's why. It all is too fishy.
He definitely goes out of his way to be weird and jarring.
Yeah. Buckethead. He does have... I mean, I've heard some of his music, and it's... Yeah. Amazing. It's amazing guitar work.
If you want to get a good handle on the extent of how creepy and weird he can be... because it's kind of an obscure song. But if you can find his album Buckethead Land 2 and look up the song Slaughterhouse Blues, it's one of the few songs that he has vocals in. It's him talking. And it's all about him losing his job at the slaughterhouse and then going back there to get revenge on his boss. And he like talks about how he likes to slaughter cows but not as much as people because the cows don't talk to him and don't ask him to stop. It's the most fucked up thing.
Wow, he's really all in. He's all in Buckethead.
He's like he said after he looked in the mirror and said, "That's Buckethead," and he says, "I never want to not be that thing." He is that thing.
It's just of all the origin stories I can possibly imagine. If I were to just see them all, these are all the musician origin stories that caved in their persona. And I was forced. A gun was to my head and said, pick which one someone would later regret in their career. I would pick that one. Every single time, infinitely over, I would pick the one where he put on a mask and then a KFC bucket on his head and looked in the mirror and said, that's it, Buckethead. Yet he's embraced it.
He's stuck with it, and he's got quite a career.
My God. I hope you're listening, Buckethead.
Dude, we'll come after you.
I do. I'm a big fan of his music. Don't kill me. Don't kill me.
Okay, let's move.
And final word, I'm sure his mom loved the song, and that has got to count for something.
Well, no, it wasn't for her. It was for the dad.
It was for the dad?
Oh, no, I don't know. I'm just watching the boats with my dad.
It was for the... So as long as one parent loves it.
As long as a parent.
Then there you go.
That's all that matters. All right. Let's move on to Rosemary's Baby by... You pronounce it.
Fantômas.
Fantômas.
Fantômas. Someone listening.
Fantômas. This is off of their 2001 album, The Director's Cut. Fantômas is a avant-garde experimental metal supergroup out of California. It consists of band members from Faith No More, Mr. Bungle, Slayer, Melvins, and Tomahawk. The name Fantômas is named after a pre-World War I French supervillain who was in a bunch of movies, films, comic books themselves. And this is one of the many projects of vocal virtuoso Mike Patton. Mike Patton, famous frontman from Faith No More, Mr. Bungle, Tomahawk, Peeping Tom, The Dillinger Escape Plan, Lovage, multiple other projects. He's released multiple avant-garde jazz albums with the avant-garde jazz composer John Zorn. He's the co-founder of Epicac Recordings. He voiced all of the monsters in the 2007 film I Am Legend.
Really?
He also did the voice of all of the zombies in the video game Left 4 Dead. And he also voiced the character The Darkness in the video game The Darkness. And for the Portal fans out there, he played the Anger Sphere in the Portal games. He's an incredibly talented vocalist. The director's cut is a collection of covers and reinterpretations of horror and thriller themes from a variety of films and television series, this one in particular being from the movie Rosemary's Baby. It's a kind of a cover of the song Rosemary's Lullaby, which was originally composed by Polish music composer / jazz pianist Krzysztof Komeda, and it was originally sung by Mia Farrow, who played Rosemary in the film. So what did you think of their cover of Rosemary's Lullaby?
I mean, it's very simple. It's an extremely simple song, but I actually thought it was very, in a way, it was actually a very complex adaptation of the song, and I was very impressed.
Extremely.
I was very impressed.
Yeah, for a song whose only lyrics are "law" and "what have you done to its eyes," it's a pretty awesome song.
Yeah, especially because the original song has a specific function where it would be held in like promos, and so you couldn't give away really anything in the movie except it's just a sort of lullaby that if you listen to the original with Mia Farrow, it's just kind of creepy. Maybe she sounds kind of in a trance, but this one, you know, since it doesn't have that function of being a promo but an adaptation, in a way he really does. And maybe, I mean, I love the movie Rosemary's Baby, but he really kind of tells and injects themes from the movie into the adaptation of the song, which is brilliant. I mean, that's how you cover a song. You do something different with it. So I was, extremely impressed.
Yeah, he's just so freaking talented. Like, the voices he can do. Like, he sounds like a creepy little kid, and then he has this like very like sultry, sexy man voice.
Yep.
And then just the intense screaming.
Yeah.
Like, his range is impeccable.
Yeah. No, it's because in the original, or right around the same time that he screams in the original is when Mia Farrow, she just gets like a little deeper in her, like trying to be like a soothing lullaby. And that's where, he breaks and just screams, kind of revealing the horror, and then having the lyrics from the movie in there. What have you done to their eyes? I mean, it was brilliant. It was brilliant.
What did you think of the little interlude with the baby crying in the middle of it?
Again, I thought that was fantastic.
Just there's so much, they injected so much atmosphere into this song.
Mm-hmm.
For, again, something that is so simple on the surface.
Yeah. I mean, it's menacing. I mean, this version is menacing, whereas the other one is just kind of, creepy. Oh, is this woman just kind of in the, passively kind of being a victim? This one is full out menacing and creepy. Yeah, I mean, really, it's a fantastic cover.
Yeah, the whole album's pretty damn great too. This is probably their most highly regarded. This group, it's their most highly regarded album, and they covered. They also do like the Twin Peaks "Fire Walk with Me" theme.
Really? I'll have to listen
that's
to
the
that.
last song on the album.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't feel like I have that much to say about it other than it's just awesome and creepy and intense.
Yeah.
And
it's simple. It's very simple, but it really is. Yeah, very kind of tremendous amount of thought went into it. Recommend listening to the original. Watch the movie 8 times. Then listen to this. Watch the movie one more time. Then the original backwards. No, but the original and this one, it really is impressive, Howie.
Yeah, I'm going to start doing more with the Tumblr page where I'm going to post a video of the original just for comparison. So people can, if they want, can listen to it to compare it.
Yeah.
So look out for that. Any other thoughts on Rosemary's Baby?
No, I mean, fantastic.
All right, next we'll move on to Easy Girl by Coconut Records off the 2007 album Night Timing. Coconut Records is the indie pop solo project of actor Jason Schwartzman, who's located out of LA in California. Other than being a phenomenal actor, Jason also used to be the drummer for the alt-rock band Phantom Planet, which their biggest claim to fame is their song California, which is the theme song for the show The OC.
Oh God, that's
California.
Them? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wait, is that Jason Schwartzman singing?
He was the drummer.
He's just the drummer, not
And
vocalist on it.
I might have this wrong, but I think he left the band prior to them writing that song. But yes.
Missed out on that paycheck.
California. Well,
Wow.
I don't think he's hurting too much.
Yeah.
He's kind of comes from a big family of famous people.
Yes, he does.
Jason is the nephew of Francis Ford Coppola. He's cousins with Nicolas Cage.
Mm-hmm.
Both of his brothers are also actors. Robert Schwartzman, his brother, actually sings on this song along with him.
What are the odds that he would also be famous? That's crazy. I mean,
Well,
you would think lightning would strike twice.
they're like
Wow.
They're like a more functional Baldwin family.
Yeah, well said. Yeah.
This album was released on his own record label called Young Baby Records, which, as far as my research told me, the only 2 albums that they've ever put out are Coconut Records albums. And
People aren't fighting to get on the Young Baby
I guess either that or he's very picky.
label. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Again,
know.
what are the odds?
Yeah.
Francis Ford Coppola, Nick Cage, and then
Good old Jason Schwartz.
so yeah, Coconut Records.
Coconut Records. And
Easy girl.
the early albums or early copies of this album actually came with Polaroids that Jason took himself. I don't know, so what did you think of Easy Girl?
I mean, especially listening to this song after listening to the other.
Rosemary's Baby.
It's like, again, I'm not hating on Jason Schwartzman or his aspirations, but the depth of thought that went into that cover just makes the depth of thought of this original song look like just nothing.
It completely overshadows this song.
Like, this song just looks like a piece of shit
And
in
actually,
comparison.
if you skip ahead to the next 2 songs out of these 5, this song it's like this anomaly of normalness. And
Is that right? Okay.
Well,
yeah,
no, just
yeah.
like if you look at all 5 songs, you have this weird, dumb Buckethead song, a cover of
Yeah.
Rosemary's Baby.
Oh yeah.
The next song
yeah,
is a
yeah.
deathcore song, and the last one is a drum and beat electronic. So it's
Yeah,
like,
these 5 songs.
for as
yeah.
normal as this song sounds, it freakishly stands out because of how normal it sounds.
It's very normal. It's very just light, breezy. It's a breezy. You never want to be called breezy. Would you ever want the adjective breezy labeled to anything you've ever? It's breezy.
Unless I'm like going for like a cover girl look.
Yeah,
'cause they're
exactly.
Easy, breezy,
Breezy.
beautiful.
Look, this is the one sort of heuristic I use when I need to judge music. It's a little thought project. I ask myself, I don't know who's performing this song. Can I conceivably imagine that this could be a song in an Adam Sandler movie in which he is singing it on a beach, playing a guitar? And this one...
Do you do this with all the music you listen
every
to?
song. Every song. And this song, 100%. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if he's covering an Adam Sandler song from some Hawaiian bullshit vacation movie he has.
I feel like you're referencing a specific movie.
Have
Little
you-
Nicky, right?
Yeah, Little Nicky,
Yeah.
there you go. But you know what I mean? It just
Yeah.
sounds like, be my easy. I say girl, you say yeah.
It's kind of almost like doo-woppy
Yeah.
in a way. I don't know. This song it really lacks substance.
Yeah.
It's very shallow and on the surface. Like it's very nice, but it's too nice.
Yeah, it's
Almost,
too
it's-
nice.
I don't know. Like I feel like compliment/critique. I often think of Jason Schwartzman as like he's a little too precious.
Yes.
And this song is a little too precious.
Yes. It needs a little edge, some dimension. It's just one dimension.
The only dimension I can possibly pick out of here, and I'm probably just projecting, is what does he mean by the term easy? Is he like? Is he trying to play with it, or is he like really just trying to like reclaim that word for "you're an easy girl to love," or is he kind of being a little funny, like being misleading, like, "Oh, you're an easy girl to love"?
I wondered that too, and then I looked at the lyrics, which are quite. I mean, this is
very thought-provoking.
Yeah, very. Let's put it this way: if you had to learn how to read, this would be a good song to read the lyrics to, because it's very simple. Easy girl.
Easy girl.
So it makes me think that there just couldn't have been that much thought. It's a very bougie song. It's a very bourgeois song. The whole thing seems like a vanity project.
Yeah, I really like other songs on this album. Like the song West Coast is really good.
Yeah, that's the one I've heard and I do like. And I had no idea that was Jason Schwartzman. And now I'm afraid when I hear it, I'm not going to like it.
See,
just because it's Jason Schwartzman.
West Coast is arguably such a good song where just like, no matter if you know it's Jason or not, it's a good song.
It is a good
This song right here makes me think, would I listen to this if I didn't know it was Jason Schwartzman?
Would it have even been made? Would any label have produced this song if it wasn't on Young Baby? What the hell is
he put it out himself?
The name of the band.
It's Precious.
Wait, let me get it. The name of the band is Coconut Records.
Yes. And the label is not called Coconut Records, even though that sounds like a record label.
It's called Young Baby.
Yeah. Coconut Records off of Young Baby Records.
They should. It seems like there should be a song called "Watching the Boats with My Dad" on this.
Yeah. I agree. Except I think most of his songs are just about love and girls.
And apparently he had Kirsten Dunst, Zooey Deschanel on the album, which again,
sang on some tracks.
Those aren't renowned musicians.
Zoe,
she
has a band called She and Him.
I know.
You look like you have a bad taste in your mouth.
It's all just wrong. It's all just terrible.
Are there any good bands with actors in it?
Well, yeah, Paul McCartney, Wings. Haven't you seen him in that? He was in that music video with Michael Jackson.
Oh yeah,
he was a Western cowpoke.
What's that fucking movie? Yellow Sub Sandwich? Is that what it's called?
Right. yeah. It's
Golden Sub Sandwich.
Wait, that's a good question. Is there a good actor musician?
I have an answer to this question.
There's gotta be at least one. I can think of some terrible ones. Who you got?
30 Seconds to Mars.
Yeah,
no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'll take it. That's my favorite. I actually have their tattoo right here.
Yeah, I see that. No, have you ever heard of Dead Man's Bones?
No.
Ryan Gosling.
Are you bullshitting me? Ryan Gosling.
I know it sounds, but if I were to play this album for you, you would friggin' love it.
Are you bullshitting?
No. It's one of the albums I am seeking to get on vinyl.
What? Does he sing?
Yes. It's him and a drummer in a children's choir. And they wrote a whole album of like Scooby-Doo era horror movie songs. They're all about monsters and ghouls and skeletons.
And it's good.
It's great.
Wow.
It's Maddie loves it too.
I'll have to check it out.
I can completely understand your skepticism. Every person I've ever played this for loves it. It's so weird and unique and catchy and sweet and simple and to the point. And he's actually not that bad of a singer.
What's the band called?
Dead Man's Bones. Did you ever see Blue Valentine?
No,
okay.
I have not.
Because he did some singing in that movie, and that's very similar to the singing that he does on the album. It's very kind of 50s doo-wop-y kind of singing.
I can see it.
It's not like Jared Leto.
Yeah.
Pretentious yells, screaming.
I'm a lot more forgiving. I mean, I'm completely biased. It's irrational, but I'm much more forgiving for musicians that try to act than actors that try to be musicians.
What do you think Jared Leto is? Is he an actor who tries to do music, or a musician who tries to act?
I mean, unless I got his biography wrong, got his huge break as a huge star as an actor, and then he became famous as a musician. But maybe I got that wrong.
Are you familiar with Donald Glover and Childish Gambino?
Yeah.
That's kind of an interesting topic.
Yeah.
Because he was a stand-up comedian, actor, kind of did music on the side, and then for a period of time, he just did music.
Yeah, just did
And now
music.
he's back in movies again.
Yeah.
And actually, his music's good in my opinion.
I actually did his one album. I can't remember what it's called.
Camp? Because
No.
of the internet?
Because of the internet. I do like that one. I listened to it on an airplane. It was one of the songs available. But yeah, it was good. The album was good. But I don't know. Even him, I feel I'm very biased because I know him as an actor and then he tries to do music. Very skeptical. Nick Cage is a music project.
What?
I'm pretty sure he does. You would be shocked at how many actors actually claim to have music projects you don't even know about.
Viggo Mortensen.
He's got exactly. I didn't even know about it. Mel Gibson. I'm sure he's got one, and you name it. Name an actor that's a white actor
white.
above the age of 40.
A white.
A white.
Who's a white?
A white man above the age of 40 who's acting has a project. Jeff Bridges,
Jim Carrey.
Alec Baldwin, Jim Carrey. I'm sure he does. Google it. He's got it.
Well,
At some stage in their life, they think, why don't I just start expressing myself through music? To our torture, to our collective torture as fans. We have to listen.
Did you ever listen to Jeff Bridges' sleep tapes?
I just heard about it. I heard it was good. I actually heard it was good.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah,
I dug it. It's not really him singing, it's just kind of like field recordings and him like telling soothing stories.
It's just like the dude, right?
It's kind of, yeah. I liked it a lot.
I heard it
not
was
enough
good.
to like buy the big expensive box set of it, but you can listen to it for free on his website.
Oh, really?
So it's interesting. All right.
Fuck actors, man. Say that.
Especially whites.
Especially the whites.
All right, let's move on to Aortic Dissection by Carnifex off their 2008 album The Diseased and the Poisoned. Carnifex are a deathcore band from San Diego, California. Deathcore is a fusion of death metal and metalcore. Metalcore is a fusion of extreme metal and hardcore punk. So, I'm sure you completely understood that, but for anybody else who doesn't, it basically mixes the use of death metal's fast drumming, down-tuned guitars, and growled vocals with metalcore's screamed vocals, melodic riffs, and breakdowns. The breakdowns are the biggest part, like when everything gets really dun, 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 and you can just like
feel it.
You can see people with long hair headbanging in your head. Carnifex is Latin for butcher, or if used in a certain way, executioner. And unlike so many bands we talk about, they actually have defended being labeled as a deathcore band.
Wow, good on them, man.
The lead singer has been quoted saying, "We're not one of those bands trying to escape the banner of deathcore. I know a lot of bands try to act like they have a big problem with that, but if you listen to their music, they are very deathcore. I know that there's a lot of resentment towards deathcore in kind of younger bands, some of it warranted. I definitely see some of the monotony in some of the bands that came out, but some of the bands are writing genuine music that they enjoy, and if you've got a genuine passion for it, then it's art, it's music, and you can't really judge it." I think it's kind of a mature way to look at it.
Yeah.
An aortic dissection occurs when a tear in the outer wall of the aorta causes blood to flow between the layers of the wall in the aorta, forcing the layers apart, oftentimes resulting in death.
What is the fixation on like the body, carnal violence? Why is that such a motif in this?
I think it's the most simple, relatable way to express negativity.
Yeah.
Like, if there's one thing you can understand, it's your body and its ability to feel and experience the environment around it.
Yeah, primordial.
And, like, invoking images of mutilated bodies is probably, like, the easiest way to, like, get across this primal idea of fear, pain, hate, rage, roar.
Yeah.
Is my best guess.
No, that's a good guess.
The song is actually very depressed sounding if you look up the lyrics.
Yes.
Because obviously you can't quite understand them, though unlike the Lactating Blood song by Mutilated, if you read the lyrics while listening to this, you can actually make like, oh, he is actually singing this. I can hear it.
You can corroborate it.
What did you think of it?
I thought this similar thing about the lyrics. These could be like Billy Corgan lyrics. They
very
were
sad.
Yeah, very. If you heard, you could literally hear like a sort of Billy Corgan, almost an emo band, singing the lyrics, obviously differently.
Yes,
but otherwise the lyrics could be the same. But I like this. I think, I'd have to go back and listen to some of the other death metal, hardcore metal. I mean, I sound like an old person now. I have no idea what all this metal stuff is. But
kids in your MTV.
You kids in your metal things. But I think I actually like this the best. The drumming was not just that kind of namby-pamby ting, 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 ting. But this was more kind of driving force. And there was a clarity in the instruments that was lacking in some of those others where it could have been any instrument just distorted out.
This is an extremely well-produced song.
Yeah.
It sounds incredible for metal music.
Yeah, it was I was very clear. And there were rhythmic tonal shifts that I was impressed.
Yeah.
I was actually impressed with this.
That's the one thing about this deathcore genre I like, is that there's these changes.
Yeah.
You can hear it go from like the low death metal sound to there's like these movements almost within the song.
Yeah. So, and it's impressive. I mean, to do that with the speed and the clarity, I was impressed. It's a good song.
I'm not quite sure what it's about upon reading the lyrics. Like, I was trying to relate them back to the title, which kind of maybe is referencing heartbreak.
Yeah.
But the song seems to be more about the protagonist, I guess, the lead singer's point of view, about him talking about past regrets and sharing them with someone else and how he feels broken. I'm not sure if the song's about heartbreak or if the title is just there to be controversial.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I have no clue. But I mean, do people even listen to it? Does the average Carnifex fan know the lyrics or give a shit about the lyrics? Because no offense, but this genre seems like the type that would attract people who don't particularly care about wordcraft in the music. Maybe they'd like other songs, but you wouldn't listen to this for the lyrics.
I mean, I guess it depends on how deep into fandom you want to go. Metal fans in general probably don't care about the lyrics, but if you're a fan of Carnifex,
then maybe
you're gonna look up the lyrics.
Yeah, fair point.
Metal. If there's one thing about metal guys, metal people, is they're just huge nerds deep down. Metalmen. Metalmans.
And metalmans. Yeah.
They're just they might look intimidating, but they're actually just huge nerds. They're music nerds. They're usually people who take the craft of technicality of playing music very seriously. A lot of people think it's the only way to really showcase musical talent.
I could see that increasingly, especially given that every time you we've approached one of these songs, it comes with 8 different genres, kind of in relation to it. That it does signify it. There's a fair amount of thought going
and there's so many more genres that we haven't even touched yet. It goes deep.
Yeah, no, it's good.
There's some subreddits on this. Let me tell you that.
The deep web Reddits.
My only theory relating the lyrical content to the title, because the way that an aortic dissection works is basically one damaged part of the heart causes other parts of the heart to become damaged.
Yeah.
So maybe he's referencing that some sort of damage to himself is so bad that it is inflicting more of himself or perhaps others around him. Because he says, like, tonight I gave you everything I had, and now you see why there's hatred in me. Now you see why there's death in these eyes. This was just made to be broken.
That could be like Dashboard Confessional, man. That could be Dashboard Confessional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No, I think Broken Heart. Yeah, something like that.
No, I always think it's funny. Like, if you hadn't looked up the lyrics, you'd probably, and you saw the song title and listened to the song, you'd be like, oh, this song is just about murdering people.
Yeah, mutilation.
But really, it's just some guy going like, man, broken.
You hurt my feelings.
Could be a Cure song.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But a good song. Yeah, I was impressed with it.
All right. Any other thoughts?
No, but probably of all, again, the different iterations of metal, this is probably the best I've heard.
So you like this more than the Meshuggah song, you think?
Wait, refresh my memory. Meshuggah was post-metal, or they were...
They were the djent metal.
The djent metal. No, Meshuggah was better.
Because you were very impressed with that song.
Meshuggah was better, but I almost don't classify them in that.
I respect that.
Yeah. I was thinking more of the mutilated, whatever the hell, and then the other one. What was the other one we've listened to, like the first week?
Oh, the Leftover Crack?
Yeah, Leftover Crack.
The hardcore punk or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. See, you...
But Meshuggah, that's its own.
You are becoming a metalman.
There we go.
Because a metalman would be like, oh, I wouldn't even classify Meshuggah with this. Whereas everyone else is going to be like, oh, that's all the same band.
No, yeah. I'm a metalman.
By the end of this podcast...
Mom, I'm a metalman. Did you hear?
Metalman. Soon Dominic's going to grow out his hair and start wearing Metallica t-shirts.
This is why my mom didn't want me to go off to college in the big city. I'm going to turn into a metalman. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Oh, out of all the things a mother could be worried about, like, oh, our son's going to become a metalman if he moves off to the big city.
Going to be burning
stay
crosses.
home and protect him. Okay. Let's move on to our last song, which is A Journey to Reedham, 7 a.m. mix by Squarepusher. And this is off of Squarepusher's 1997 EP, Big Loda. Squarepusher is a UK-based recording artist from Chelmsford, Essex, England. His real name is Tom Jenkinson. He dabbles in drum and bass, acid house, acid techno, jazz, electroacoustic, and IDM music. For anybody who's curious, acid house and acid techno is a very specific type of music that it can only be played with one certain type of synthesizer.
Yeah, that's what
It's called a Roland TB303, and it's known for its squelching bass sound.
Yeah.
It was very popular in the 90s, especially around England. Aphex Twin and Squarepusher were kind of pioneers of, I guess, if you want to say popularizing, at least bringing it up to the forefront of the EDM's attention.
Yeah.
Though, for as electronic as Squarepusher is, he's also a very talented electric bass player. He actually has an album entirely of solo electric bass music.
Wow.
He often gets compared to Aphex Twin. Some might say that he kind of lives in Aphex Twin's shadow, kind of like Stephen King and Coons or whatever.
Coons,
what's his name?
That's it, exactly.
Tim Coons, Tom Coons.
Yeah, exactly. Stephen King and that whoever. Squarepusher is that whoever. Yeah.
Or like Steve Jobs and Bill Gates. I think he's definitely paved his own sound, but for people who aren't in deep, a lot of times I could see why people might say he's just an Aphex Twin wannabe.
Yeah.
Though I think, at least now and today, he's definitely branched off and made his own sound for himself. Little interesting fact about him: he actually wrote an EP that is completely performed by robots. It's called Music for Robots, and it's famous for one of the robots whose name is Mach, is the guitarist robot, and he has 78 fingers and can play with 12 picks simultaneously.
Wow. And does this sound like music?
It does. It's actually...
Wow.
I was planning on posting a video of this on the Tumblr post for this episode as well. It's very moving, actually. And it has 3 robots, a drummer, a guitarist, and a keyboard player. He teamed... a Japanese robotics company approached him, asking him to compose a song. And he liked it so much that he went on to record 5 more, and he made an album out of it.
Nice.
Another interesting fact, Big Loda, this EP, was released on Trent Reznor's now defunct record label Nothing. Because at the time, there's a record label called Warped, which pretty much any electronic artist who means anything, they're on that label. But at the time that this came out, they were in the UK only. So Trent, I don't know if Trent actually did it, but his record company released this in the United States at the time. While Squarepusher is known to kind of move about multiple genres in his albums, this EP seems to stay in the drum and bass realm of things. For anybody who doesn't know, drum and bass is a style of electronic music that's characterized by very fast break beats with heavy bass and sub-bass lines. What did you think of A Journey to Reedham?
I thought this was a fantastic song. I thought this was brilliantly constructed song that I loved. I love this song.
I fucking love this song.
Yeah, I thought
too.
this was fantastic song. I just thought, I mean, enormous attention to the architecture of the song. It had intro, it had the action, and then it had an outro, as if it sort of raveled and unraveled.
Yeah.
And that was very impressive. And just the layering over it, starting with the voice recording and then the bouncing electronic. It almost sounded like Steve Reich.
Yeah.
Sort of like minimalist, but then it just kept adding on bass. And yeah, I love the percussion, kind of its counterpoint. I thought, brilliant song. I thought this was a brilliant song.
It was so good.
Yeah.
It was originally commissioned to be in a video game. And about halfway through making it, he's like, I like this too much. I gotta keep this for myself.
Yeah. Wait, so tell me a little bit more about, because I'm not that familiar with the technology that you said that they were, I've only just heard about it, but do you know, not to put you on the spot, more details about that particular machine that they used to make this music?
Are you talking about the Acid House synthesizer?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that was actually used in the creation of this song or not. I just know it's a very specific synthesizer with a specific noise. It's an analog synthesizer.
Okay. Yeah.
Acid house music and acid techno music is very warm and analog.
Yeah.
Aphex Twin actually has a whole side project called AFX, which is only analog recordings, and it's usually acid something because it uses that synthesizer. Okay. I'm not as familiar with that style of music to be able to tell you if that was used for this song or not.
Yeah, because at times it almost sounded like it was like overdrive distortion, like the song was bursting at the seams, which I loved. I love that. I mean, I don't know if anyone's traced the influence, but that sort of electronic trickery that sounds so brilliant, that's become almost mainstream. Yeah. Over the last like 5 years.
With the prominence of dubstep.
Yeah. I mean, and when was this recorded?
This came out in 97.
Yeah, I mean, that's genius. I thought this was a genius.
Yeah, Squarepusher and Aphex Twin were definitely pushing the boundaries of what electronic music was at that time. I love the kind of 8-bit chiptune feel to this also.
Yeah, fantastic.
It kind of makes, like, it does feel like a journey almost. I feel like Morning Commute almost comes to mind with the song. It's very happy. It's very warm. I love how manic the drumming is.
Yeah, the drumming is ferocious, man.
It's just great. It's so nice and upbeat, and I've learned that Reedham is a village in the English county of Norfolk.
Oh.
And I was curious why so many English villages have like ham or corn, and I guess ham is a suffix which references that it used to be a farming community.
Okay.
Not that. I just found that interesting.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's a great song.
Yeah.
It's driving. I just love how happy it is too, because that's usually something you don't find with IDM music.
Yeah.
It's usually more brooding.
Now, is it happy in the same way that Coconut Records? Because that's a breezy. It's happy, but it's not breezy.
I wouldn't call this breezy by any means.
No.
This is kind of a clunky song. It flows, but there's a weight to it.
I feel so bad for Coconut Records. It's just wedged right in the middle of so much better
did.
music. It's
Like
just getting, like you said, it's just getting
fair
crushed.
chance.
Absolutely crushed.
Did not get a fair chance. So if you had to say your favorite, would it be Journey to Reedham? Or would
Let
it
me
be
say
Rosemary's
this.
Baby?
What will I listen to this week inspired by these 5 songs of Squarepusher? But the cover song is such a bullshit art 99% of the time. It's terrible. Someone says, I'm going to cover this song, and it's just a disaster. It's just stupid. I hate the original. I hate the person that covered it more. So this song deserves like the Nobel Prize in covering and adapting the song. So I have to pick Fantômas. I'm sorry, I can't even say the name. Rosemary's Baby, because he actually creatively, thoughtfully covered a song. Fantastic.
I agree. And it's very appropriate with Halloween being in 2 days.
There you go. Sorry, Mom.
Big,
Now I'm a metalman and I'm celebrating Halloween. My mom's gonna kill me.
you're like a pagan metalman.
It's a pagan metalman.
You left a Catholic, came back a pagan metalman.
I'm gonna name my son Pagan, middle name Metalman, last name Manthey. Pagan Metalman.
Not Mr.
Yeah, Mr.
Metalman.
Mr. Metalman, Mr. Pagan Metalman.
I guess for a third time, I'm going to have to completely agree with your reasoning. While I think the Squarepusher song is probably my favorite, just due to everything you said. I don't know. I guess it's a tie between those two.
Yeah, it's hard.
I probably, like, given like every day, if I woke up and was told you have to listen to one of these two, I'd probably go with Squarepusher more often, just because the Rosemary's Baby song is so specific.
Yeah.
Whereas this is a lot more generally enjoyable.
Yeah, exactly. No waiting, watching the boat with my dad.
Again,
Sorry,
similar to the
Buckethead.
Coconut Records, it just lacks substance. It's breezy. It's a breezy song.
It's a breezy song. You never want to be breezy. What's your
Wispy.
cover girl?
It's
Wispy.
Wispy. All right, I guess we can move on to what everyone's been waiting for over the past hour.
Ooh.
Probably just picking out the next 5 songs.
The
I
new
just figured
reveal.
no one listens to it. They just are curious
Skip
what the
ahead.
next 5 songs are. That's all they care about.
Skip to the end.
Right, here we go. First song is Starlings by Elbow. Second song is This Must Be It by Royksop. Third song is Other Side by Rancid. Fourth song is Swing Life Away by Rise Against. And the fifth and final song is another Swan song, Job. But this is off their album Cop. So you're going to get a very different sounding Swans. It'll be like a completely different band, I promise. So go ahead and listen to those, and we'll talk about them next week. Thank you for listening.